welcome to the first inaugural Facebook Live series that I'm doing. I know. And of course, I have the awesome Jim Palmer, your dream business coach, who got me started in podcasting in the first place. So I thought, what better way to kickstart this live Facebook series, and podcast, leverage your podcast. Welcome, Jim.
Oh, happy to do it, Lyndsay. I would almost drive up there and jump across the border for you, but this is easier.
You have to boat along the along the waters.
Yeah, and someday we may do that.
I know. So Jim we've known each other for maybe 10 years now. I can't even keep track.
At least 10, yeah. 2009 or 10, I think.
Totally. And of course, you've been one of my first clients in me working online and launching my business. And as a business coach, you've helped me propel my business forward. And of course, today we're talking about just fighting those fears and getting over the mindset and your limiting beliefs to start a podcast. Because believe it or not, back then I was petrified. And it took you months to be like, Lyndsay, when are you launching a podcast?
I don't like my voice.
Is that what I said?
I don't know. That's what a lot of people say. Who wants to hear my voice? And I'm silly. I got a dumb laugh. The little voice goes in my head. You can make all kinds of excuses.
You totally can. So I imagine, again, you've coached so many amazing businesses. You've helped so many entrepreneurs launch podcasts, produce podcasts, be guests on podcasts galore. So when you do get people that are kind of giving you that resistance, what thoughts are going through their head, or why do you feel like some people hold back and don't launch that podcast?
So I could give a smart answer, or I could just kind of go
We like both.
Yeah, so I'll say, okay, so you're comfortable growing slowly then. Okay. I understand. But in reality, you can talk about the imposter syndrome. You can talk about a lot of fancy names, but at the root of all of these mindset hurdles or mindset traps is the fear of being either found out or being, made fun of and things like that. Mm-hmm. So for example, people go, well, I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. I'm going to be nervous interviewing people. What if I don't know what to say? I'm going to be nervous being a guest. What if somebody asks me a question and I freeze and I don't know what to say? So it's all rooted in a little bit of, what I call head trash. Yeah. So it's just important to get over yourself, as you and I were saying just a few minutes with the old Facebook glitch, and what a week for Facebook glitches. So I don't know why we'd be spared, right? But So you just go, go and grow, go and grow. You can't be number one. You can't grow a business unless you at least take the first step and get going. And I just really applaud you, because you came out of just some part-time work, had nothing to do with the whole online business, and you just started going and growing. And next thing I know, you helped me with my podcast many moons ago, and then you're starting a podcast service. So you really do know how to take the bull by the horns. And I don't know where that comes from, but I admire it.
I know. I'm just determined and stubborn. I'm just doing it anyways.
That's right. Just do it anyway.
I know. And it's funny because your books were such a pivotal part and helped me through my businesses. Like you've got, just say yes and decide and stop waiting for it to get easier. And it's like, there's just that theme. And I forget the one book where it's okay to be scared, but never give up, I think is the one.
Yes.
And I remember when I was starting out, and I figure this might help other people as well, is like, there's all these amazing stories of these super successful icons in business. And you think, oh, I'll never be them, or I don't have what it takes to be like them. And they share their stories of like where they were like down in the dumps, they struggled, and it's
health issues, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It was like, you got to start somewhere. And it's like, okay, so if I screw up, if I don't look perfect, it's okay. It'll get better.
Part of my backstory is I had this lifelong fear of public speaking. And then when I became an author, and then when I wanted to grow my business in general, speaking is a great way to do that. Well, I kind of tried to take the curvy road. I'm going to go and build my business without having to do this, right? Well, that, I didn't crash and burn, but it was like in my nautical language, like trying to get up on plane, dragging the anchor behind you. It was just like, when am I going to just take the anchor and get going? And so I really I kicked that to the curb and turns out I'm a good speaker. People enjoy hearing me speak.
Yeah,
And
you
I've made
are.
a lot of money speaking. So I don't know what the hell is going on there. But Lyndsay, it really has to do with whether or not, another nautical expression is, a lot of people, what I say, have one foot on the dock and one foot in the boat. You're not going to get anywhere unless you get both feet in the boat and go. And it's a little scary. And it's actually why I wrote 6 books, and then I wrote Just Say Yes. I had this book because that was the 7th book that I didn't plan on writing. But Stephanie and I, 4.5 years, we've been living full time and traveling on the boat over, I think, 11,000 miles now. And out in the ocean, we've encountered major waves. We've had smoke in the cabin. We've a lot of scary moments. And it's like, God, do we feel alive? We feel like we're on a big adventure. But my point, and the reason I wrote this book, is in your private life so much resembles being an entrepreneur. Are you just playing it safe?
Yeah.
There's so many people I see at certain marinas. They just come down and their boat is like their floating summer home. They never take it out. Well, first of all, it's not good for a boat. It's not good for a plane to sit on the ground. It's meant to be used, right? But it's like, where's the adventure in that? Do you know what I mean? So it really pays to just say yes and jump in and see how it goes.
And for really, when it comes to that, how good did you feel when you finally launched and reached your first destination? Or you had to fix, I remember those pictures of you down in the engine.
Yes.
And it's yes, I did it.
Stephanie, oh my God, Stephanie, I was doing, what we might call the Travolta strut or something in a small space. But, we lost an engine. I said, I think it's a fuel filter. I've never changed one before, but we kind of pulled into where it was shallow, dropped the anchor, and I fixed it. And then I fired the engine up. And I'm like, oh my God, there's nothing I can't do, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it really is pretty cool. Kind of like when you're hosting a podcast, or kind of like when you get on stage in front of, I don't know whether it's 20 people or 200 people, or you publish a book. All these different milestones really give you your entrepreneurial muscle, your backbone, so to speak.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. And I remember once, and again, I was nervous as anything. I did it anyways. You helped me figure it out, all the moving pieces. And, interviewing other people scared the bejesus out of me. I'm like, what am I going to ask them? What if I sound like I don't know what I'm doing? And just in some of them, it's I feel like, I am not worthy, and yet I'm interviewing them. You know what I mean? So that part was nerve-wracking. But as I just kept going, one foot in front of the other and just doing it anyways, I remember just hearing feedback, right? Oh, that episode was so good. It was so helpful. Or I see you everywhere. Ooh, you got a podcast. Just kind of getting those little bits of validation, if you will. Or even just helping one person figure something out. I'm like, that was worth it for me.
Yeah, it's really crazy. So a few years ago, probably about 5 years ago now, I interviewed John Taffer from Bar Rescue on I forget what network he's on now, but that was probably, at the time, the biggest celebrity that I had connected with. And I must tell you, I had a few butterflies, not many, but it's not because I was afraid to talk to him. It's because I had a certain amount of time, and I imagined in my head, they're going from one thing to the next, kind of like a press junket type thing. And he said, yes, I'll go on your show. We'll do about 20 minutes. My show's half an hour, but I took 20 minutes at John Taffer, and that show was 20 minutes, right? But it's I knew what I wanted to ask him. I did some homework, did my research. Just like when I met Damon John from Shark Tank at an event. And then also Kevin Harrington wrote the foreword to Stop Waiting for It to Get Easier. Crazy. And I'll tell you, I was a little nervous reaching out. And turns out he said, send me the manuscript. And I thought, okay, that'll be 6 months. I'll never hear from him. 2 or 3 days later, he says, I really like what you're doing here. I'll write the foreword for this book. And I'm like, what in the, and it really shows you do have to step up and take your shot. Right. I forget. I heard I think it was a guy who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. He said, every time you get scared, you go, oh, what the heck? Do it anyway. Oh, what the heck? Do it anyway. Make it your mantra. What the heck? Do it anyway. And, it never turns out as bad as the little voice conjures up.
No. And honestly, when any situation comes up, Jim, so it's speaking on at PodFast, or even when I wasn't in 2 weeks, I had to put something together, and it's you're always in my head, you're freaked out. just do it anyways. And then
yeah, I remember when you were going to be on Entrepreneur on Fire. I mean, we talked quite a bit through that. And I said, it's just a guy, just like you and me, John Lee Dumas. And, you know, you already know the questions because the show is formulaic. And so you know what to do. And so you did it. And I was, again, very proud of you.
I know. Oh, thanks. But sometimes it's like, and to me, it's like, that's the power of having a coach and being in a mastermind and like having that support system. Like, no, like, look at all these things. You clearly know what you're talking about. You've done this. And sometimes you just need someone to like push that little voice out of your head. But like for you, you are really good at preparing people for like launching a podcast or doing a video show or writing a book or whatever that authority platform may be, so that you're not just throwing spaghetti in a wall and hoping it sticks, or just winging it and it like doesn't make sense and propel your business, where you have those business strategies to back people up and coach them.
I think the difference, you know, just speaking as a coach, what makes a great coach, in my opinion, is not just skills and strategy. It's having been there, right? So I had major debt. I was very broke when I started my business. I had my fears, my phobias, you know, my demons, all the different things I went through and experienced. So nobody can hide. None of my clients can hide from me. And they also know that if I'm saying you got to do this, it's because I did it myself. Right. So I think that's it's really important to work with somebody. And again, I've shared many times my most embarrassing moment. We won't go into that now, but I've had coaches and mentors, right, that have pushed me. Yeah. Because someone pushed them. I'm grateful for all these little milestones.
And so you obviously have the Dream Biz radio show. You've had video shows, podcast shows over the years. Has anything surprised you about launching a podcast or doing a podcast, or benefits that you're like, oh, I kind of wasn't expecting that?
Yeah, the longevity. And what I mean by that is, if I put out a show today, somebody may listen to that show a week, a month, or 6 months from now. You know, in 2009, I also started shooting weekly videos. Back then it was Newsletter Guru TV, then it became Dream Coach. But every single week, this is before Facebook Live and the other platforms that preceded it, I was recording and editing and putting together produced videos. I missed 2 weeks in like 5 years of doing videos, which was a pretty good record, which speaks to consistency and persistency. And there was a few moments where I thought, oh, got to do another video. My videos used to come out, I think, on Friday and be like Wednesday. I'm like, damn it, I have nothing. What am I going to talk about? You know, or I'm busy. I know. And I do it and I think, well, can I just take a break? And then I would go to an event and people would say, oh, how's the kayaks, Jim? Because I used to shoot videos in my kayak at the lake by our house, or I'd be walking Toby, or I'd be shooting them in different places. When we put that addition on our house, I was shooting it in there. Yeah. Because I think the great videos, in my opinion, are a combination of information and entertainment. And I don't mean like juggling flaming bowling pins, but people want to see more than just like, this is all I have. I'm on a personality. Boat. Yeah, but they want to see you in different places. They're curious about where you live and things like that. So that served me really, really well. And just to prove the point, we'll put a little bow on this. Many years ago, I was at an event and I was talking with somebody who had emailed me. I think we might have even spoken a little bit. He was considering being a coaching client of mine. So this big auditorium, a couple thousand people let out, and we kind of saw each other in the lobby. And he says, hey, let's go talk. So we're over there talking. We must talk 2 or 3 minutes. And he goes, you know what, Jim? I've been watching you paddle that kayak for well over a year now. I just really like what you're doing. Seems like you know what you're doing. I'd really like to hire you as my coach. Now, the important thing there, not the fact that I got a client, because that was pretty cool, but he says, I've been watching you paddle your boat for a year. I know. Now, Lyndsay, I've been doing these videos, and sometimes you put a lot of effort into them. You think, is anybody watching them? I mean, in my prime, I was having somewhere around 1,000 people every week would watch those videos, right? So I knew that, but then it's not 1,000 people, becoming customers. But But I think the point is, and I think what you originally asked me, what surprised me, it's how much every episode, every video, every podcast, every interview just keeps layering and layering and layering what is you, and you are your product, right? So it just keeps adding to it.
I love that. And absolutely layering. You've said a couple of key words is layering and consistency. And do you see persistency?
Consistency and persistency. That's right.
I like
the CNP.
Absolutely. You got to be gutsy and consistent. So for those that are like, haven't launched a podcast, they're maybe kind of thinking about it, what tips could you give them that kind of pushes them to the next step?
Again, we said it, you just got to start. But a lot of people, and I don't know whether they're purposely putting impediments in the way or they think they really need a freaking studio. This microphone is $40, even with a little stand. That's all like it is. $60. Plugged into my computer. It's the only one I've used. In fact, the last 3 books, I have audio versions. And of course, when I'm posted on social media, I'm like, hey, I was just in the studio. I was in my home studio. I just recorded, just say yes. Well, the truth is, when I recorded Decide and Stop Waiting, I was in my bedroom closet at home because it was all soft and closed and it was perfect. And I actually recorded the audio version of this book in my bedroom back there because it's all soft walls, carpet, bedspread. So you don't need anything. You need a microphone and that's it. You don't need a board with levers and gauges and stuff like that. It's super simple. And so one of the things I've been doing, I want to share this because I know you're familiar with this, but for the folks that might be watching or listening, the average podcast today is a half-hour show once a week, and most people are doing interview format. What I've helped, probably about in the last year, I've helped several of the members of the Dream Business Mastermind create these podcasts. Some of them I had get into what's a weekly show. So it was 5 days a week. Now don't freak out. It's not 5 half-hour days. It was 5 7 to 10 minute shows. So no guest per se, but it's, and actually, I described it this way to a client and we kind of named her show, Jill, bite-sized chunks over lunch. So every day, a little small snippet with lunch. It's a podcast. It's your podcast. There's no law says it has to be half an hour or whatever. There's no law says you have to interview. The reason I think that's been successful for some of my clients is, again, it's repetition. So if you go with a half-hour show weekly, you got to wait a month for them to hear 4 shows. If you go with a daily show, you got a week, and if they consume it all, and it's really cool. And so Stephanie and I were driving. So when we're here on the Chesapeake Bay currently, and it's about an hour to an hour and a half to go up to see her dad in Pennsylvania. So, we listen to stuff, and sometimes we'll just listen to podcasts. And this couple that have been boating, it's called Live Aboard. They've been living aboard their boat for like 10 years. So they started a podcast. So she pulls it up, and each podcast was like 5 to 7 minutes. It covered one thing, how to work in a small kitchen or a galley, or, how to anchor properly, how, what kind of a radio, two-way radio show. So each one was like less than 10 minutes. So in the car, I said, well, that was interesting. That was quick. She goes, yeah, but gave you the nugget. And then what's another one? And we must have listened to 4 or 5 of them.
Sweet.
And I'm barreling up 95 on the way to see her dad. And I go, oh my God, I just experienced what I've been coaching some of my clients to do. I'm consuming 3, 4, 5 episodes, and it's still about the same time frame as listening to 1 or 2 shows. And what just happened is I now know this couple even better than just knowing them peripherally. They wrote a book and stuff. I've heard their voices, and I have more respect for them for their knowledge of boating. So I thought, and that Lyndsay, that literally happened about 3 weeks, and I go, that right there, because I think of myself as a Joe Average. So if it works for me, it's probably going to work for somebody else. I said that is exactly why I've been telling these people to do these smaller shows. By the way, if you think it's a big deal to do it every day, you set aside a Monday morning once a month. You set aside 3. You can record a month's worth of shows, right? So it's really not a big deal.
I know, man. There was a lot of tips even in that story.
That's a long one. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's right. But it's like there is no set way that you have to do it. It doesn't have to be interview. It doesn't have to be half an hour. And if you do something for a while and then change your mind and switch it up, it's no big deal.
That's right. It's your show.
Your head's too much.
And that's one of the things that I teach, as you know, is there's a lot of different media. There's social media, but you want to own as much media. You want to control your media. Now you can control your podcast. You can control your videos. You can't control Facebook, who's going to show what to who. You can't control several things, but you can control your website, therefore your blog, and you control your podcast, how much you promote it, how it goes and things like that. So owning media is very important.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then obviously having the website, it's like a one-stop shop for everything. And then you can track data, which is always a good thing. All right. So we're heading into the speed round now, Jim.
The speed round. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. So what tool, when it comes to podcasting or leveraging, automating your podcast, could you not live without?
You of all people know better than to ask me that, because my tool is my team.
Hey, so that's a good tool to have.
Yeah. So when I record my video, I send it to my team, and this guy Chris launches it. He launches them all. He sets them up. He adds the clip. My job is to sound good and record it, and then I send it to him. I don't know that he uses that many automated tools. There may be, but I'm I don't want to sound
right now. We're using StreamYard.
Well, thank you for bailing me out, because somebody asked, hey, what kind of apps do you have? I said, well, I use Gmail. I don't know. Is that an app? In reality, Audacity, if you're on a PC, is free, and you can edit your audio that way. There's something else on a Mac, but I'm a PC based guy. But you really don't need that much of anything.
I totally agree. And having a team to support you is killer. So you did just mention a boating podcast that you're listening to right now. Are there any podcasts that you listen to regularly?
Well, I either walk or bike every single morning, and I actually listen to I go to YouTube and just listen to it. So I think that counts as a podcast, right? Because I'm consuming audio content, because I need to look where I'm going. But there's a few boaters, but on the business side of things, what I've been listening to probably for this whole summer, Grant Cardone, Ed Milet, and Dean Graziosi are three guys that are like super successful, and they're playing a very high level game.
Very high level.
They're very high level. Now, the thing is, if you want to play at a high level, you can't be hanging around with people that are at your level or below, because who's going to pull you up, right? So you want to be listening to and learning from people who have been there and done that. And what I mean by that is where you want to go. Yeah,
I love that. That is great advice. And if you had to create a podcast on a completely unrelated topic that's not businessy, what kind of podcast would you have?
Oh, let's take a wild guess. I would talk to people about the live aboard lifestyle.
Yeah.
And along those lines, and it's kind of what I coach on also, is I would talk to people about pulling the trigger or just saying yes, because so many people, there's this proverbial someday, and someday doesn't happen for some people, sadly. Stephanie and I were quite shocked. We thought we're going to be very unique living on a boat and working on a boat. Turns out there's a lot of people that do it. But, Stephanie started a YouTube channel for this experience. And we're over 1,000 subscribers, which is cool, because we just started about a year ago. Awesome. But we know the demographic of people that listen and watch our videos are people that are either new to this or they're thinking of doing it. So it's kind of like why I was listening to the other folks I was mentioning earlier. I want to keep learning more tips and tricks and strategies and safety things from people who have not only done 10,000 miles, but maybe have done 50,000 miles. You know?
Absolutely. That's a great way to end our live Facebook. Now, you, of course, are a massive resource for other entrepreneurs that are looking to grow their business. And you just showcased a couple of your books. How can they get your books? And where else can they go to find out more about you and how you can help them with their business?
Well, thanks. So my home base is getjimpalmer.com, getjimpalmer, PALMER.com. And also, you can have all 6 of my books for free in digital format.
That's
And
amazing.
Lyndsay, you know this because I was interviewing you a couple of weeks ago, and our mutual friend and also in the Dream Biz Mastermind, David Phelps, wrote a book, and one of the chapters in his book was about legacy. And because of the little gray here, I'm starting to look backwards a little bit more than just forwards. And I thought I really want to help more people, and I'm really proud of the books I wrote. So I thought I'm just going to give them away for free. I told one of my team members, I don't know, maybe 5,000, who knows, maybe 10,000. We're over 26,000 books on Amazon. And my books are also available on the Barnes & Noble website. Those are called Nook Books, and also in the iBook store. So those are the 3 places you can download them all. You don't have to opt in, nothing. You just get my books and go learn. So that's where you get the books, and you can connect with me at getjimpalmer.com.
Perfect. And I just stuck your URL in the comments as well.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, geez, I got to see you twice in 1 month. What's next?
I know, this is special. I know. Well, maybe you'll come see us. Maybe you'll come see us in the Keys. We're going to January, February, March. We're going to be in Marathon Keys. So we're pretty excited.
And drink some red wine on your boat.
1,200 miles. Oh boy, that's a lot of diesel fuel.
Awesome. Thanks again for joining me. And I always love chatting to you.
Love talking to you, Lyndsay. Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.